Hey guys, Jim Edwards here along with,
Stu Smith.
and today we are going to talk about something that has everything to do with sales copywriting and content marketing, and you might think nothing, but it has everything to do with it. And today we are going to talk about a topic that is near and dear to Mr. Stu Smith's heart, which is mental toughness, which is also near and dear to my heart as well. The reason I want to talk about this, I've been going through some interesting things over the last year. I was talking to Susan, my niece, assistant, right-hand person, one of my best friends. And we were talking yesterday, or not yesterday, we were talking today about, the fact in the last year, it seems like we've had all these things thrown at us of, my father-in-law being really sick and then passing away, my dad being super, super sick, and not passing away and being on the road to recovery. Now, a very dear friend of ours who is battling for her life with a heart condition. Terry went down to help take care of her, and we thought it was only be 5 to 8 days. It could be 5 to 8 weeks. And yet all these things just keep coming, boom, 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 boom. In the last 12 months, I've had the greatest, business-wise, I've had the greatest 12 months as far as business building and making money than I've ever had, ever, which is really saying something. And I think that it comes down to, for me at least, focusing on what's really, really important. And during that time, focusing also on my grandkids and and I've also it seems like I've taken more time off away from my business than I have, because I had to go take care of my dad. I had to take care of all the stuff when Terry was taking care of her dad. I mean, they're just all these things.
Train less.
Right. Training less, but still getting something done.
Yep.
And I just kind of wanted to talk about all this. Maybe I need just a stew therapy session, but
Well, think about what you've accomplished, on top of all that. And I can, I think we all have those times in our lives where you have to drop everything
right.
and go help someone.
Right.
Or in your case, or in some cases, it's you who needs help. Right.
Right.
You got to drop everything. That's life. And I think the more we realize that's just life, you got to deal with it. I think the stronger we will come out of it, on the other side. And you're right. I mean, you have to take care of what matters most, but you also have to take care of what's most important in your business as well. And that's what you focus on. You just focus on the most important pieces and not get caught up in
the urgent,
the little things that, kind of distract you from actually focusing on what's the most important.
Right.
So,
and that's a great point. And thinking about that stuff, that's really what's happened is I've been forced to ignore the urgent stuff that in the end doesn't matter, and have been like, when I look at Facebook, I don't look at every single thing that's in my little update feed. It's like I'm basically looking for the stuff where I need to respond to a comment or something like that. So that eliminates 15 minutes here.
yep.
I empower the people on my team to make decisions so they don't have to check with me on stuff. I isolate the things. Okay, what's the most important stuff I got to get done today? And just get it done. And I'm not sure how to explain this, but because everything has been so busy, I've had to eliminate like the pre-talk and the post-talk that goes with doing shit. I'm not sure that I can explain this right, but it's like, there have been times in my life where I've spent more energy and more time in the lead up to doing something, and then after I've done it, the cool down from it, then just like, look, I got to get this done and this done and this done. I don't have time to screw around. Let me write this up. Let me get these headlines done. Let me write this email. Let me do this article. And it's like boom, 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 boom. And I look back and damn, I did all 4 of those things in like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Whereas before that would have been like a whole morning and all sorts of angst and other stuff going with it. And I think part of it is thinking, okay, I got to feel like I'm putting in a full day. So this is the important stuff I got to do, but I got to get some filler in here too. So it feels like I worked all day. I don't know if any of that makes sense.
No, I know what you're saying. I think what it is that, when you have half of your day or more eaten up with another event or task or whatever. I mean, that could be a full day's job, and you're trying to start your own business on the side. You've been there.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that you did is you made that time efficient.
Right.
That's the key, efficiency. So
yes.
It's kind of like when I teach kids how to swim. I see one kid in this lane swimming across the pool, takes him 20 strokes to get across the pool. I see the other kid takes him 6 strokes to get across the pool. Same distance, third of the work. Right. That's really what we're doing, with our own businesses. We just figured out a way to make it efficient. And, I think the problem with trying to explain this is that it's almost impossible to explain.
Right.
You make a checklist. These are the 4 most important things I need to do, and you get it done. Right. Now, if we can apply that to every single day, yeah, you could probably have a 4-hour work day.
Yeah. Or 2.
Yeah. A 2-hour work day, so, it does come to more of a focused efficiency, I think, more than anything. I mean, we can call it mental toughness because I think there is a form of mental toughness that's in there because you're able to compartmentalize for that short period of time, get stuff done, and then be able to turn it off and go focus on what matters most
in
your life. And I found the same thing. Like sometimes I'm really busy. I got a lot in the schedule. I got to be somewhere at lunch. I got to get an article done in the morning. So one of the things I do is, the night before I write down all the notes, of what I'm going to do that next morning. I have a topic that I'm already kind of brewing on, in the back of my head. And then something that's been really helpful for me are Venn diagrams.
Okay.
Right. When I talk about an article that has a lot of, what's a good word for it?
Stuff.
Paragraphs, right? It's just got a lot of topics in it that I have to coordinate. Right. And so I put it all together. I make one of these Venn diagrams like this one I made the other day. It's really just nutrition, portion control, sleep, exercise.
Right.
And, you got all these other little things, and I'm able to explain things a little smoother.
Right.
In a little diagram out of it, whether it's a Venn diagram or, some graph or something.
Visual thinking. I mean, that's really what you're doing is using visual thinking to help you clarify your thoughts faster so you can express yourself quicker.
Absolutely. And I think that helps you have a greater amount of efficient focus.
Okay. I can see that.
That makes sense.
Well, it does, because I don't know the exact percentage, but I think 80% of our brain power goes to visual processing and 20% goes to everything else.
Yeah.
So if you could access the biggest part of your brain to visually represent everything you got to get done, and your brain goes, oh, okay, I know exactly what to do. That could be part of what's eliminating that chatter, the pre-chatter and the post-chatter. I don't know, but I need to think that through.
That's really good. I mean, like your to-do list. I mean, you have a to-do list, but instead of the big to-do list that you and I made, that's like a page long of all the different options you can do.
Right.
You don't do that. You focus on one that's about this big.
Right.
Get it done. Here's the most important stuff I got to get done. I get done.
Right. And so, for example, like this week, I needed to get something done for my list. I need to get some sort of content marketing done. So I did a video on Monday, or maybe Friday. I don't know. I did a video, and then I needed something else. I said, okay, let's take the transcript of that and let me put that into an article. And then I took that article and I created a couple different calls to action for it, depending on where I was going to post it. And as soon as I get that article done, it was like, boom, put it up. Let's get it posted. Don't screw around. Not, well, it's done now. Let me go get some coffee and let me, call my friend and let me check Facebook. No, I got this done. I need to go get this shit posted. I got to have this call to action for it here, this call to action for it here, this call to action for it here. I need a graphic here, but I need a different graphic over here. Let's just get it done.
Yeah.
And then it was funny. I had one of my biggest weeks on social media that I've had in a while because I don't know, because I didn't screw around. My topic was real clear. It was hard hitting. Because I couldn't screw around, I just had to get to it.
Yeah.
And there was emotion behind it. And then it really resonated with a bunch of people because I think it was more of a gut level explanation thing. And yet it was my least amount of time spent on social media in a long time. How your phone tells you your screenshot,
Yeah.
my screen time was so low. They were asking me,
are you still alive?
Yeah. Or did you go? Yeah. Did your thumb get cut off? Can you not log in? So I think that's all of these things. It's interesting to think about this because if you could do this on purpose when it's not being forced by a calamitous event or something, I think that would be important. I mean, that would be great,
I think that's how people achieve excellence, to be honest with you. If you're able to do this kind of focus every day when you don't have the world falling apart around you.
What's really self-motivation, isn't it? It's the internal drive rather than the external driver.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, you started off this discussion about mental toughness, and
right.
It really comes down to that. And if you think about what mental toughness is, and probably one of the best definitions I've ever used in articles, and I found this, and I don't know who said it, so it's not me who made it up, but I love it. It's finding the fuel when the tank is empty. How do you do that? And that's just one of those questions that sometimes it's answered when nobody else is around you, and it's just you alone with your thoughts and thinking about, I got to do this, I got to do that, and you just start getting it done. Right. One step at a time.
And I was just about to say exactly what you said there, one step at a time. Sometimes finding that fuel is maybe, because this happened to me night before last, I didn't have the fuel to get the whole thing done, but I kept playing the game with myself. Okay, one more step. Let me get one more step done. The next step. And I didn't get the whole thing done, but I got it so far that I didn't have that gnawing feeling of incompleteness. I knew that first thing in the morning, it was going to be boom, I'm going to have this done. It's kind of like when we run. I know you kind of taught me this. Instead of thinking about the whole run, think about the next bend, visualize the next thing. Okay, I'm going to make it up to this thing. I'm going to make it to this thing. Do math problems in your head to distract yourself from the pain you're feeling, to put a focus on something else, anything just to make it that next 100 meters. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, I don't know if this happens to you, it happens to me, like on every single run. As soon as I get to the halfway point of that run, most of the time my speed actually picks up because I know that I'm on my way home.
Yep. All downhill.
Right. Which they could have brutalized me if I'd have been in the military because, it would, oh, you're not done. Shit. But thank God I don't do that to myself. But that kind of a thing, just employing that, I think it would be fun for us sometimes, and this is kind of just freewheeling and stuff. There are some things that I like to, some different things that I like to teach, but I think it'd be fun for us to brainstorm some things about how to get stuff done, just mental, kind of like that book you did about motivation for working out.
Sure.
Doing something along those lines for motivation to get that one last thing done every day. Because the way I look at it, I had a sales manager teach me this. He said, if you make one extra sales call a day, every day, over a 50-week year, 5 days a week, that's 250 extra sales calls a year. That could be the difference between being an average performer and being a peak performer. And he said, once you make one extra sales call, it's easy to make 3, but making that one extra one. And so just I don't know. I think we're at the end, but
yes. But that's really good, because I like to always close it with, none of this is easy, and life isn't easy. And, unfortunately things like this happen.
Right.
But, you've done a really great job with, you not only are focused on the basics of your business and getting it done and crushing it, but you also added on, this is our 22nd podcast
right
done in the last 10 weeks. So I know you've had issues for the last 10 weeks, and still
I've had issues for the last 50 years, Stu, but
yeah. But laughter helps as well.
Yeah.
You gotta stay positive about everything and just keep moving, because this stuff does happen. It's going to come in, it's going to throw a curveball at you when you don't expect it. And you just have to, focus. And
right.
That's the key. And like I said, if you just make yourself a to-do list and just get the basics done, and maybe that's a good drill for everybody today. If you want something to do, let's make a little short list of all the things that you have to get done in one side of the list, and then all the other things that you do in a day, right? And let's compare the two. And you may see the hand on, the side on the right hand is, the stuff that you do. There may be some things in there that you can clean up every day, and you don't necessarily have to do them daily.
Right.
Maybe you can handle doing them weekly,
or skip them altogether.
Or outsource them.
Right.
So,
and a great example of that, just as an aside, I had somebody send me a message through LinkedIn. I don't do LinkedIn.
I probably should, but I have one, but I just don't do a lot on it.
I have one too, but I've made the decision. You know what? LinkedIn ain't my piece, as they used to say back in the 80s. Not my piece, man. It just ain't my thing. And so you gotta pick and choose. So I think that's a wonderful exercise. I'm going to do that too. Yeah. I'm going to make a list of all the things that I have to get done. And I'm also going to make a list of all the stuff that I actually do, those things and other stuff, and see where I'm wasting time. That's an excellent thing. I think there's probably an app to do that with. And what's an app? You know what? Here's your friggin' app. It's called a freaking piece of paper and a freaking pen. Okay. There's your app. That's old school. That's called an analog app.
Yes.
So awesome. Great job, Stu. Why don't you Dr. Stu today, why don't you finish us off and take us home?
Yeah. So, hey, you guys, thanks for signing up and checking out the Sales Copy and Content Marketing Hacks podcast. There you go. And make sure you are joining the Facebook page, the closed Facebook page that we have. It's also Sales Copy and Content Marketing Hacks Facebook page.
There you go.
The JimEdwardsMethod.com. The JimEdwardsMethod.com, and sign up for that premium package, and you will see a lot of cool stuff that will, I guarantee you, save you time.
There you go. Actually, the premium's closed right now, but since you said that, I guess we'll have to open it back up for a couple days.
There you go.
There you go. Cool. Thank you, Stu. Thanks everybody for listening, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.